Hi guys. Okay, Taurus, you are next. So here we go. This is going to be your career and finance read. There's no timestamps on the message. Whenever you're led to it, it's exactly when you needed to hear it. So, before we get into the details of the message, let's pray. Great Creator, Father God, Divine Mother, Mother Mary, angels, ancestors, and spirit guides, I just pray and ask for wisdom and clarity and for any messages needing to come through for the collective sign of Taurus. For this, their career and finance read. In Jesus' name, amen. One more shuffle. Alright, here we go. For Taurus. Right action. Upara Graha literally means let everything that wants to go, go, and everything that wants to come, come. And I'm sure I'm butchering the word, but you know. And that's right action. Then you got one off the bottom. Faith. Miraculously, amazingly, everything I need always comes. Love is open in me to receive beyond anything I imagine. Absolutely. So let's go to the Angels and Ancestors deck. That is not the deck I used. Hold on a second. I knew it wasn't the deck I was using. There we go. Now we got it. Sacred Traveler Oracle card deck. One more. So Taurus, right action and faith. Answering the call, the time is now. Navigating by the stars, follow your bliss. And gates of triumph, success expands in your life. Okay, let's go to the tarot. Queen of Wands, Three of Wands, Justice, Four of Wands, Nine of Pentacles. There's a lot of words here. Eight of Wands, Tower, Page of Wands, Eight of Swords, and Four of Cups. Okay, I kind of thought that's where we were going with this. Now listen. Whatever you're being led to do, okay, I guess I'll back up and say that. Your intuition is that little nudge within yourself that's leading you in the certain direction, okay? If there's something that you've been kind of nudged, where something you feel is nudging you one direction or another, listen to it. Because there is something that's here and you keep talking about it. You keep talking about it, you don't jump out and do it. You try to do it, not even trying to do it, you just toy around with the thought of doing it. But this is where you're at. Eight of Swords, Four of Cups. This is not being... Four of Cups isn't about being unhappy. It's about being... This discontent isn't about being unhappy. It's just... You know there's more. Like you feel like there's more. There's something else for you. Eight of Swords is that mental cage, like in your thoughts. This is telling yourself you can't do it. Telling yourself I won't be able to do that. I don't know why I'm even talking about it. And yet you keep talking about it. Keep toying around with the idea. Now listen. Right action, faith. Kind of thought that something was kind of nudging at you. But it's something that causes it, like really, I can pick up a card here. Something that sets you into this excited mode. Like really excites you, really, it makes you feel important. Is that what I just heard? Not even important. Needed. Is it needed? Makes you feel needed. So it's here. Like you keep talking about it. Keep talking about it. Keep talking about it. Let's go through this. Queen of Wands. Sagittarian energy. This is speaking one's truth. Sagittarius. The fire signs, that's the reason wands are words. Fire signs have this grace surrounding them when it comes to either speaking or not. Leos will cut you off and act like you never existed. They will walk right past you and just not see you ever again. Like, that's a Leo. Aries are very flirtatious. They're the salesman. Sagittarius will tell you the truth even if it's unwarranted. Like, even if you're not asking for it, they'll just give it to you. So every time I see this card, it's, you don't need Sagittarius in your chart. You can embody the energy of this card, but it's speaking your truth. This is something you've always wanted to do, okay? Something that's nagging at you, it just keeps. Time is now. Answering the call. Three of Wands. Every time I see this card, it's like, well, you hear that it's waiting, you're waiting for news, but at the same time, Two of Wands is connecting with someone. It's a conversation with someone. Three of Wands is the waiting for news because you're talking to them, and it's, how do I explain this? It's like the energy of, when are they going to get back in touch with me? When are they going to get back in touch with me? And then it's the third party there with the conversation is in your internal voice. Like, when is the news coming? When is the news coming? See what I mean? This is also like Three of Pentacles energy, and I occasionally I'll pick that up off the card. Three of Pentacles is like a teamwork, a group working on a team, but it's having a conversation. It's basically like, and I always, occasionally I'll pick up the energy like that, where it's talking to a team, like talking to more than one person about it, and it's discussing it, but it going no further. And you got the Justice energy. There's Libra. This is scales of justice tipping back in your favor, and this is bringing balance into your life. Now, that balance comes when you really believe in yourself, and I feel like that's what's lacking here. This is the reason why you're in this. And this is why you just, like, you have to face the fact that you're not content with the road that you're going down. But the balance has to come with you getting out of this headspace, because I feel like that's the only hold up to this. The only thing that's holding you back is you. Four of Wands, there's that celebration. Making changes, home. This is celebrating your space and making likewise changes to it. We all have a physical home base. We're home to our spirit. So this is, it's This is like, okay, this is like turning over a new leaf. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and go for it. That type of thing. You do this. So you're going for it, making this change, going after this little nudge, calling that your service industry. Not even, like, service industry is much more broad than food. Like, it's not even that. Service industry is, yeah. Like, I see the service industry as much more than that. I mean, this is... Okay, so, you make the necessary changes, you go after it, okay? Nine of Pentacles is that applause from the universe. That's a job well done. Very good. Now you're on the right page, okay? Eight of Wands, there's news coming in. Everything's getting set into place because now you're accepting it. You're holding on to faith. That's where you're supposed to be heading. And then this happens. Tower. The tower is not an external thing. It's you blowing it up. The reason you blow it up is because of this. This leads, Page of Wands leads to, let's just say, like a domino effect. You get one message from someone and it's like, great, yeah, I can't do that. Then you talk yourself out of it. Which then leads you back into this headspace. And you're not happy. Not happy, but not content all over again. Like everything was good, everything. And this happened. And the tower. Like there's someone. Yeah, I'm seeing a visual. Okay, I'll explain it this way. A visual of like this balloon being blown up. And then someone giving you a needle or a pin. And telling you, well, if this was meant to be, then it could survive the pin, the needle being placed against it. Like it's something so ridiculous as that makes you then back up and go, yeah, I don't think so. So, okay, what ends up happening, and this goes back to the original card, and I'm going to explain this. Okay, right action. There's a verse in the Bible, and I think it's from Hosea. Is it from Hosea? Let me see if I can quote it. I will lead her into the wilderness and speak comfortably to her, or I will speak to her heart. So what God ends up doing when he gives us the nudge to do something and we're ignoring it, what he does is he puts us into this wilderness experience type of thing. Now, I feel like this is you doing this because you're in your headspace. But what ends up happening with the leading you there to where it's everything stripped away from you, like you're isolated, that type of thing. Things are leaving. Let everything that wants to go, and everything that wants to come. This is being open and receptive to allow those things that are meant for you to come, but those things that you have outgrown, let them go. At the same time, when God is leading us into a certain direction and we're not paying attention or we're ignoring him, what he ends up doing, like I said, is that he will put us in a position where we are forced to go into a wilderness experience. We'll feel isolated. Things will not feel like they're going right. There'll be one of those moments where we're trying to, put a foot forward. We're trying to, but he has us stopped. Because that's the moment I'll lead her. That's what it said. I'll lead her into the wilderness and speak comfortably to her. The translation of speak comfortably to her is I'll speak to her heart. And that's the reason we're often led into the wilderness, because we're not listening. We keep holding on to past people. We keep holding on to past things, past ways of looking at career and finance. We keep looking at it that way. So if we're holding on to these old ways of doing it when we were in survival mode, this is the thing though. You're not in survival mode anymore. When you move out of survival mode and you go into thriving mode, rules are different. So you have to switch it up in your head. You have to change your way of thinking. You have to get out of this. Because if you don't get out of this, you're going to stay in that wilderness. This is wilderness. This is, and I finally got the realization of this card. I'm kind of new to the whole tarot thing, okay? Late husband taught me. I've only been doing it about a year, but I get like an epiphany moment with this card now, Four of Cups. This is like going around the base of the mountain, and you keep going around the mountain, keep going around the mountain, keep going around the mountain, and you're never changing direction because you keep repeating the same thing over and over again. I can't do it. I can't do it. I know I'm being nudged in that direction. I can't do it. I'm just going to sit here and not be fulfilled for the rest of my life. So, this is the wilderness experience. This is what it is. But see, instead of fighting against what's nudging you, because if you fight against it, you're going to keep going around and around. So instead of doing that, have faith and embrace that you can trust where you're being nudged to go. Because if you're being nudged to go there in that direction, what is the rule of thumb? If God calls you to it, God will pick up the tab. So it's not like he's going to put you in a position where you're going to be like this if you obey him. No, that's not what happens. This is only one of those moments. The wilderness experience only happens when you don't obey him. With one exception. There's only one exception to that. And the exception to it with the wilderness experience is if you're called to be a prophet, that's your training ground. So you're supposed to go into the wilderness on a regular basis, layman, no, layperson, is that what the word is? Right. You're not supposed to go into the wilderness to just kind of camp out. It doesn't work like that. The wilderness experience is to, or the dark nights of the soul, is to remove those things in you that's blocking you from following what you've been called to do. That's what the wilderness experience is for. Because if you're not obeying that nudge, then you're put in a position where you have to go around the mountain until you do. And get out of your headspace. So this is going to take a deep, long look at where your mind is at. Instead of going around and around the base of the mountain, stop and really look, self-examination. Really look at why you're holding yourself back from this. It's being at service for others. Yeah, and it's not like that. It's not like that. Like if you look at certain terms, like it'll come across like it's food or, no, it's not even that. Being at service to others. And like I said earlier, it means more than that. Like it's not that. being of service to others. And you've gotten to see, I was wondering about this too. Gates of Triumph. Success expands your life. Okay, this is the thing. When you fully embrace the direction that you're going, or that you're meant to go in, and you follow the nudge, this is what's going to happen. 2, even just coming down to the fact of making the decision, that's where the success comes. Because the moment that you tell yourself, yes, I'm going to do this, yes, I'm going to take a chance to this, you get out of this mode. I feel like, though, the reason the Page of Wands comes in is because you're asking everyone else's opinion about it instead of accepting it for yourself and just leaping out in faith. Sometimes it is not everybody else's decision, it is your decision alone, instead of waiting for, well, what do you think about this? Should I do it? Should I do this? Should I do that? I mean, honestly, if you have people in your life that don't want you to do it because they know that you'll succeed at it, they're going to tell you something off the wall, and they're going to put you in this headspace. So it's got to be your decision, and the moment that you take that stand and make the decision, Gates of Triumph. The journey is as much about faith as it is the direction that you're going. And the direction you're going is tiny little steps. This is the first step. This is the first gate of triumph. It's the first gate. Yeah, like playing a video game. Right, I always say it like that, like playing a video game. Because you do the levels. And the first part of it is just accepting it and having the faith that you can. Even if you're in that place where you don't know everything, you don't have to know everything. The best students are the teachable ones, not the ones that know everything or come across like they know everything. So once you make that decision to embrace this and to follow your nudge, you're going to get out of this, and the wilderness experience is going to stop. And the first level of success comes. And then you got to walk it. So, like I said, it could be one step at a time. You have to accept it first. Then there may be another mission behind it to do, which is, it could be something as simple as putting an application in for college. Okay, I'll do that. Then the next step, and the next step, and the next step. So each one is like a different gate, or going through the eye of the needle. If you've heard my description of going through the eye of a needle, Jesus told, I even forget where he was when he was preaching that, but he said, it's as easy for a rich man to get into heaven as it is for a camel to get through the eye of a needle. It doesn't literally mean a sewing needle. It was basically the entrance to the city. And the way the first gate, we'll say that. First entrance was wide, it was easy to go through. Then there was a slight turn, and it became narrow. And then you go through that one. Then there's another turn, and it's even narrower. And it becomes so difficult to go through that the camels, usually part of caravan, would have to be unloaded and led through. And that's why they called it the eye of the needle, because it was very difficult to navigate. And I feel like this is what this is. But the first step that you have to do is accept that, yes, this is what I'm going to do. This is the direction I'm going. I embrace this. I have faith. Everything's going to work out. Everything's good. And get out of this headspace. Because this is the thing, too. I want to show you this. And this is funny because I had this dream the other day, and which was very liberating for me too. See the tower? Number 16 card, okay? 16, if you have that, okay? 8s are new beginning. So from the tower card, you get 2 8s. And it's almost like a double portion of new beginning. This is a fresh new way of looking at it. Now, this is the thing, the 2 8s. See this? Now, the new beginning comes when you no longer ask everybody else their opinion, and you get out of your head. You get out of that cage, and you set yourself free. That's where the new beginning comes after this tower. That's how you heal yourself. And see, if you look at her, she can very easily get out of that. But it's her mind that's keeping her trapped in there. So the double portion of the new beginning after the tower falls is believing in yourself, getting out of this thought process that you can't do it. And it's having faith both in God, your direction, that He's leading you in the right direction, of course He is, and in yourself. So for the collective sign of Taurus, this is your career and finance read. Love and light.